Good morning, folks. Title get your attention this morning? Well, it should. We'll get there, don't worry, but first we've got weather, a volcano, and the sun. Hello, plasma filaments. As we come to spaceweathernews.com, we see some crackling from the departing sunspot group top right, but it's nothing significant in terms of a CME. These plasma filaments coming over the eastern limb have not been surviving to Earth-facing position, instead decaying or collapsing or releasing nearer to the limb. This one is a triple solar tornado and already showing signs it might not last another day. The solar wind telemetry is flatlining as we await another coronal hole stream impact either tomorrow night or Saturday. We are all quiet in geospace now. The coronal holes are beginning to turn behind that cranky little active region, which seemed like you really wanted to do something, just was never able to make it happen. Curiosity made it happen, though. Despite a non-working drill, a new technique allowed them to reveal more of that ice-laden, non-red material just millimeters below the surface of Mars. Well played. We've got a volcano shaking, smoking, and dropping ash around it in Japan. Mount Shimo began erupting just this morning. As I pull the current weather records from about an hour and a half ago and find cold dominating, especially in Europe, we need to shift back to the United States because a double storm set is about to have the lower 48 surrounded. One from the west, and then a high bombogenesis likelihood nor'easter moving towards the northeast. So here we go. What's the big dark matter news? A pretty good real universe observation is throwing some kinks in the models and forcing a rethink. Now first, as a mental exercise, we have to pretend Halton Arp never existed for a minute and that his intrinsic redshift hypothesis hadn't been validated in 2006. But looking at cosmic dawn under that auspices, their observation showed only one of two possibilities. Either there's a higher background radiation temperature, or the gas is cooler than predicted at cosmic dawn. A few scientists seem to like option B. Well, actually the focus on B comes from just one guy out of Tel Aviv. But again, we're going with it for now to understand what they're saying. If indeed it is B and the gas is cooler, they found a way to make the math work if dark matter particles are somehow colliding and scattering and cooling the gas. Well, sort of. This guy and his colleague at Harvard do wish to express that all the guesses and uncertainty about the early universe, which is not inconsequential, has indeed made its way into this study. But even if they somehow got all the assumptions about cosmic dawn correct, and the scattering by some other particle, it would still be in violation of lambda cold dark matter models and require something outside of that standard. So it's critical to get those 2 points because here is where it gets even better. They say the particle must be non-relativistic, which means it's not going the speed of light, and it is much smaller than a WIMP, only a few protons across. This eliminates over 90% of all dark matter theories, if it's true. But it's more than that, because to collide and cool the gas, the interactions must go beyond gravity. There must be some other interaction, and right now the top candidate for that force is a mini charge. So it's electric now. That's fun. Now, before you electric universe folks jump all over that last part, let's remember, if indeed Halton Arp was wrong, which is not settled, and if their assumptions about cosmic dawn are correct, which they sort of doubt themselves, and if it was the gas being cooler and not the background radiation being higher, and if there is a dark matter scattering of baryons, then almost all existing dark matter theories are wrong. Then the lambda cold dark matter model is wrong, and then the dark matter particle is actually interacting beyond just gravity, which is the hallmark of normal matter, not dark matter. Prepare to see lots of new articles on things like WISPs, a slim version of the WIMP. I'll caution those scientists to ask what substructures they would find or should be finding, especially if the size of their particle is still so big, above that of a proton. You better consider smaller things like positrons, electrons, or maybe something even smaller. I figured we might as well end with this after that mind bender we just took. How will we do in a zombie apocalypse? Just felt like this belonged after all that dark matter stuff, eh? By the way, Kat has ordered me to get rid of all this cool extra stuff we have from the conference. Hats and sweatshirts are at otf.sells.com where you can find both my book and Kat's children's book. We did the USA already on the wind maps. Now here's the rest of the world and shots of our star to close. We greatly appreciate your support and we'll do this all again tomorrow. Right here, but right now it's 5:35 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.